Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're going to go over how to oil your valves and also keep your slides greased properly. Make sure everything's in good working order for you. Your valves should work really easily. I mean, they should come up and down with little effort, and if they ever get slow, typically what that means is it's time to oil your valves. What I say is, only oil them as needed. Some people will tell you, oil them every day or oil them twice a week, 3 times a week. I kind of just go with oil them when you need to. I didn't oil these valves today, and you can see they still work fine. They're very responsive. As far as pushing down, it's very easy. When I let up, it comes right up very quickly and easily. There's no delay in that. Of course, if you have a delay in it, it makes it difficult to play the note because the valve is still working its way up and you're trying to play a different note, and your note doesn't work for you. So at that point, you go, all right, I need to oil my valve, or all of them. Typically, you won't need to oil all of them at the same time. Although if you're in the process of oiling one, I mean, why not take the time and do the rest of them also. What I'm going to show you is just a very quick, basic way to do it. What you're going to need each time is some paper towel. Don't use a Kleenex, because sometimes you get those Kleenex that are really soft, and it's great for your nose. But when you are wiping down your hands, or you might have to wipe out some on your instrument, all that extra lotion and residue can get into the, onto your instrument, or worse, into your valves, and can kind of gunk things up a little bit. So have a paper towel. You get that in the room, by the sink. Just grab a little bit, and you can keep it in your case. And then also you'll need some valve oil. A lot of times your instrument will come with valve oil. A thing of valve oil will last you quite a while if you use it correctly. Whenever you're doing this, if you're doing this at home, try not to get the oil onto nice floors or carpets, because it is an oil and it can stain. Here at school, you're going to want to try to avoid getting on your clothes. If it gets on the room, the band room floor, that's okay. Again, we have a floor scrubber that comes through a couple times a week and picks it all up. Try not to put a whole lot of oil on the floor, because you waste your oil, and also the floor becomes very slick. So the process of oiling your valve can be very quick. All you do is reach down, and there's little grooves right here on this cap, and you should be able to loosen it very easily. We loosen that up, then I lift it up. I never take the valve all the way out. There's no need to when you're oiling your valve, so get your oil out. And I put a couple of drops of oil on this side, and again on that side, and then I just spin it around in there and get that oil spread around inside that valve casing, and it also spreads it around on my valve itself. Then we just put it right back in place, and I'm going to get a little closer and see if you can hear, of course, that in the infamous click that we always talk about, that first lesson. We should hear it click when I spin this valve, and it means it's in place. There it goes right there. I'll take it out and do it again, see if you can hear it again. And it clicks in place, then it's locked into place. Then all you have to do is take your hand and gently put this cap back on. Now this cap should go on with one finger. You should be able to just spin it on very quickly and easily. If you ever have any resistance when you're spinning that valve or the cap back on, back up and realign it. There are very little, these grooves that you can be, if you see those grooves on there, they're very soft, and if you put them on there incorrectly, I'll show you one more time, it's right up in there. If you try to force it in there incorrectly, you can cross thread it, and your valve cap never goes back on the right way, and then it's usually a trip to the repair shop to get that fixed. But you just do it very easily. Like again, if you feel any resistance, back up and then work that valve, and see how fast and easy that works. It's exactly how your valve should work each time. Now the next thing we want to talk about is greasing your slides. The slide or valve or slide oil is completely different than slide grease. Slide grease can come in a small tube like this, or different things, but you want to see it'll say slide and cork grease or slide grease. That's what you want to use for your tuning slides. Okay, now what we do is I always tell everyone, make sure you depress all the valves. And we're going to take this slide out. And we're going to take it all the way out. To grease it, you just open up the cap. You're going to put just a little bit of grease on the ends. You don't need a lot. You just need a little bit. This little tube, again, can last you a very long time if you do this correctly and you don't waste it. Then you take your finger and you just thinly and evenly spread it out. Good use for your paper towel. And then we're going to take it and you just put it back inside here in a twisting motion. And bring it back and slide it back again. And that's just distributing that grease throughout. Do this one. Go back in there. Back. Pull it out. There's a little excess here. I'll just pull off with my finger and my paper towel. And then we're going to slide it right back into place. Again, now I'm going to push those valves down. Push into place, and there you go. Now your slides should move very freely for you. There should be no resistance in those slides, and one way to do that, to make sure you do that, is to move them every day. So every day in class, before you play, push those valves down, push them out, put them back in place, and that'll help keep that grease spread out. If you don't, what can happen is the grease can dry up inside there, and then the metal from the slide and the inner tube seize together, and then it's a trip to the repair shop where they have to usually spend $25, $35 for them to get it taken apart again, re-greased and put in there. But if you do this preventive maintenance, it can last a long time. I think I grease these slides once a year, and it's typically after its yearly cleaning that I do on it. I'll go ahead and strip it all down, clean the slides off, dry them off, and then I will reapply the grease so there's new grease on there each year, and they work very easily for me. So that's how you oil your valves or grease your slides. If you have any questions about this or any part of this process, come in and see me. Sign up for a lesson, and it's always beneficial if you have any questions about things. What you're doing, just stop by and see me. Something like this, very quick and easy maintenance that everyone can do on their instruments and should do on their instrument, on a pretty regular basis. You want your instrument to work for you very well for a long time. So that's it for this video. Again, if you have any questions, stop by and see me. See ya.